What would you do with this land? Keep watching to decide for yourselves. Lots of potential, but some issues to resolve. This is the access to this piece of land, but as you can see, it says no vehicles beyond this point, and there's even a sign here prohibiting motorbikes and cars. So you have a potential problem here of getting to and parking at this piece of land. Anyway, it's quite a very, very pleasant walk to it. Next to the River Wensum, which is a really, really great river with, you know, lots of wildlife all the way along it. It's near a recreational area where people come with families and children come to play. So here we come off that track that goes to the buildings just over there, and here the track is still suitable for road vehicles, and the piece of land is actually just next to here. So let's see if there is actually some sort of access onto the land. Well, as far as I can tell, the land is actually going to be somewhere over there, this direction, over these trees, and it does open out a bit, but it's very overgrown. Now, the other side is it's right next to the river, as we saw earlier, and the river is actually deep enough to paddle in, possibly deep enough to canoe in. So, according to the estate agent, this is the boundary of the land here. So I'm just going to go and have a look in. Now, if you could get those permissions to drive vehicles down here, then you could make access onto the land here. And as you can see, it is very overgrown, very, very beautiful with these mature trees. Some of which have fallen down. Now, obviously, being very close to the river, this land does flood, so it will become a bit marshy in the winter, but at this moment it hasn't. You can see there's several fallen trees. So you can see here there's some reeds in the background suggesting that it gets very boggy in certain areas. These are very mature. These, I think maybe it's an older alders. So here it feels a bit higher, and I don't think this bit would flood in the same way as maybe as we were a bit lower. So whether this is a natural boundary here, I'm not sure. And I'm not sure whether this is part of the land or not, but a little camp has been set up here. So that might be the neighbours, or it might be someone just utilising this piece of land, I'm not sure. But that's interesting. Let's see if there's a bit more of an obvious boundary here. Not really. So whether that's a camp made by the current owners of the land, people have been obviously on here cutting wood and maintaining it. It's a nice area in there which would make a lovely glade area for maybe setting up a centre of a camping place or something. Whether this floods or not, I'm not sure. And someone has had a fire there, so obvious place to have a fire in the middle of this area here. But no obvious border yet, or obvious edge of the land yet. So it is beautiful, surrounded by these trees and around this sort of central area, and could be that much of this doesn't actually flood in the winter. However, here suggests that there will be water coming along that what looks like that is a creek here, with these marsh-liking plants, lilies I think, through there, and probably quite swamp-like and marsh-like out in that area. So possibly more water does flood into this land over there. But there are definitely pieces of the land I don't think will flood, and could be used year round, but definitely in the summer. And now I'm back on the track again. So the owners want £40,000 for this piece of land, and I think it's a couple of acres. I'll just put that on the screen now if I got that wrong. So as you can see, it's pretty much overgrown, and there's not a lot more that I can show you on this video than what you've seen. So we're coming to the end of where I think the property ends. There is another post here, another couple of posts. I think it sort of comes into a triangular piece of land. I'll pop a picture of it on the screen. Yes, there's a few issues. One is definitely the access for vehicles. Secondly, exactly knowing the boundaries. I think that would have to be really, really clearly presented to you before you wanted to make a purchase, because the estate agent's information is a little bit contradictory. So it's hard to know exactly what the boundaries are, and they're not. It's not clear from walking on the land. Now I see it's not clear where the edge is on this side of the piece of land, but it's sort of this triangle between here and here, going into a line up against where the buildings were that you saw earlier, and it sort of makes into this triangle. It is beautiful here though, very quiet, lots of nature. Here I am back at the car park. It's about 15 minutes, very leisurely walk at 15 minutes, quicker walk 10 minutes. So you have deer footprints along here, either roe deer or muntjac deer, possibly muntjac. They look quite small. Anyway, shows you that there's plenty of wildlife.